What if the universe isn't just, stars and planets? What if it's really a story? A huge, profound story.
A story passed down, maybe reimagined over time.
Exactly. And that's what we're exploring today. We're actually kicking off a whole new series of deep dives.
Oh, exciting. What's the focus?
It's all centered around this really unique new
It's
children's
that
book collection called Mythological Tales.
children's books. Interesting angle.
Yeah, because they don't just tell simple stories. They weave in all this mythical stuff, spiritual ideas, even some like ancient occult themes.
Wow, okay. Making complex ideas accessible for kids.
Totally.
Man.
And super captivating too.
Mm-hmm.
So Only's mission today is to unpack the very first story, Mythological Tales, The Universe Part 1.
Part 1, so there's more to this origin.
Oh yeah, this is just the start of us exploring the whole series, peeling back all the layers.
Got it.
For this first deep dive, we're going to zero in on a few things, like this idea of divine fruit,
Okay.
and some of the names they use, these ancient, really powerful names like Abraxas, Yin, and Yang.
Right, those definitely carry weight.
So yeah, ready to unpack this. It's a tale that, maybe surprisingly, kicks off with loneliness in the middle of nowhere.
Loneliness is a starting point. Let's do it.
Okay, so the story introduces us to this singular being, first one ever, called Galaxy.
Galaxy, and
Okay.
it's just there,
And
alone.
completely alone in this huge empty void. And Galaxy isn't just anything. It's made of everything.
Yeah.
All the light, all the colors, every star imaginable.
So it contains the whole potential of existence, but is isolated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the book says this total solitude starts breeding these like dark thoughts, unsettling feelings.
That's fascinating right there.
Isn't it? I mean, what does it say that loneliness, not some grand design or power move, is what sparks creation here?
Yeah, that really stands out how creation in this telling comes from this deep internal feeling. Loneliness.
Uh-huh.
It actually connects to quite a few primordial myths. You know, where you have this initial undifferentiated oneness.
Right, the single entity.
And often that entity feels a void or a longing, something's missing. And that feeling is what kicks off the first act of creation.
So the universe sort of had to wrestle with itself first.
Almost, yeah. Like an internal struggle had to happen before anything external could.
Okay, that makes sense. So Galaxy, to fight off these dark thoughts, does something pretty drastic.
Which is,
Splits itself into two distinct beings.
duality emerges.
Yep. First, there's Yang. The book calls him strong and courageous.
Okay.
And then there's Yin. She's gentle and wise.
Mhm.
They're meant to be companions, balance each other out.
Sounds like a good plan. But you said there was a twist.
Big twist. They are total opposites. Like absolutely. Yang is fire, Yin is ice. Yang's light, Yin's darkness.
So not instant harmony then.
Not at all. Because
Yeah.
they're so opposite, they just clash violently. This story says they battled until they were just utterly exhausted, couldn't fight anymore.
Wow. Intense.
It is intense.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, right? This idea that yin and yang, these opposites, had to fight before they could find peace. Is the story saying conflict is, like, necessary or even good for growth?
Well, you've definitely hit on a core theme there. If
Yeah.
you dig into the symbolism,
Mm-hmm.
that initial conflict, it's maybe not just pointless fighting. It could be seen as this necessary step before you get balance, before peace is possible.
Okay, so like a required tension.
Exactly. Think about Taoism, where the names yin and yang come from.
Right.
They aren't just opposites, they're complementary. They need each other to exist. Their push and pull is what creates change, movement.
Like a dance.
Yeah, sort of like a dance. They have to push and pull, maybe stumble a bit before they find that rhythm together. Their exhaustion forces them to stop to see they actually depend on each other.
And that sets the stage for creation.
Precisely. Creation that isn't just static, but alive, dynamic, always changing.
Okay, so the conflict weirdly paves the way. And that's exactly what happens next. They're exhausted, they find this delicate balance, and out of that comes peace.
A transformation.
A huge transformation. They look at their old battleground, this place of struggle, and they turn it into something beautiful, a garden.
A garden.
Yeah.
Classic symbol.
Totally. They fill it with life, trees, flowers, animals, even things you can't touch, like ideas.
Ideas, too. Interesting.
Yeah. And right in the middle, the very heart of this new garden, they plant one really special tree.
Okay, I have a feeling this tree is important.
Oh, it is. This tree is called Abraxas. And here's where it gets like really interesting.
Uh-huh.
The story says that inside this single tree
Yeah.
was an entire universe just waiting to grow.
Whoa. Okay, Abraxas. That name rings a bell.
Right. So what does Abraxas mean here? Especially, in a book for kids.
Yeah, that's a great question because historically, mystically, Abraxas is a huge name. Comes from ancient Gnosticism.
Gnosticism, okay.
Often linked to a supreme god, but a complex one. A figure that embodies everything good and evil, unity and diversity, like the totality of existence beyond simple good-bad labels.
Wow. So putting that name on a tree with a universe inside.
It immediately makes you think of ultimate potential, right? Like this single point, this seed, holds all possible experiences.
A universe seed.
Exactly. It's a way to take these really big mystical ideas and package them in a simple, powerful image that even a child can grasp. The potential of everything right there in the garden.
That is a powerful image. This universe tree just full of potential. So eventually the fruit on Abraxas starts to ripen.
The divine fruit you mentioned earlier.
That's the one. And Yin, being the wise and curious one, she takes the first bite.
And what happens?
The story says she could suddenly feel what it was like to live as all sorts of different people, all across a vast universe, all at once.
Whoa, okay, like plugging into the Matrix, but bigger.
Kind of, like a whole universe of feelings and lives just flooded into her. Can you imagine what that felt like?
It's mind-boggling. So this divine fruit, it's not just food, it's more like a connection.
Yeah, a conduit.
A conduit for like massive knowledge, but also empathy, a direct line to everything happening in that universe within the tree.
Exactly. And the grandpa in the story, he tries to explain it. He says it's like stepping into a video game.
Okay, relatable analogy for kids.
But here's the story's twist on that. These weren't just game characters. They were real human lives.
Real lives.
Yeah, lives that kept going, having their own joys and worries and hopes, even when yin and yang weren't, focused on them.
So it's not just observing, it's a continuous living connection, a kind of cosmic empathy.
Cosmic empathy, I like that. So yin, obviously blown away by this, runs and tells yang.
Got to share that experience.
Right. So he takes a bite too. And together, they share this feeling of being human. All the ups and downs, the hopes, the fears, they're really connecting with this universe inside Abraxas.
A moment of shared understanding with their creation. That sounds beautiful.
It is beautiful,
Yeah.
but there's a consequence, an unexpected one.
Ugh. There's always a but, isn't there?
Seems like it. This deep connection, it didn't just flow one way. Story says a bit of that super intelligence stuck with the people they experienced.
Stuck with the humans? Like an upload they didn't ask for?
Sort of, yeah. And these humans, remember, they're pretty new. They weren't really equipped to handle this jolt of cosmic awareness.
I can imagine that would be destabilizing.
Totally. It made them feel different from each other, maybe isolated or confused. And this difference, this lingering bit of the divine, it caused all sorts of trouble down in the human world.
Okay, trouble is vague. Does it hint at what kind? Like conflict, confusion?
It implies that, yeah. It suggests that maybe too much knowledge or too much connection to something higher without the wisdom to handle it, it can overwhelm our nature.
Leading to discord, maybe struggles with identity, chaos in their society.
Exactly. It feels like a bit of a cautionary tale, maybe, about the weight of knowledge if you're not ready for it.
The burden of knowing too much.
Yeah.
I see that.
So this trouble in the human world, it really starts to affect Yin
Her gentle, wise nature, she'd feel that deeply.
deeply. She starts feeling this overwhelming sadness, watching the changes, the problems caused by that stuck intelligence. Her sadness just grows and grows until she makes a really hard choice.
What does she do?
She stops eating the fruit
Completely cuts off the connection.
completely, hoping, maybe desperately, that if she lets go, the human world might find some peace again.
Wow. That's quite a sacrifice, giving up that connection.
It is, and it gets even more intense. Her pain becomes so great, the story says she became lifeless and still.
Lifeless,
Like-
petrified.
Exactly, like a statue. And her face, it says, became more human-like as she turned to stone.
Human-like. That's loaded with symbolism. Sacrifice changing the divine.
Seems like it, but it doesn't stop there. As she's turning to stone, her tears, described as clay that you could see through.
Transparent clay tears. Okay.
From those tears, 12 children took shape.
Children born from her tears of sorrow.
Yes. And these children looked like the very gods that the humans inside Abraxas had started imagining.
Whoa. So her sacrifice, her empathy, directly gives birth to the gods that humanity perceives.
That's how it reads. It's a really different take on where gods come from, right? Not power,
Yeah.
but empathy and suffering.
That is profound. Wow.
And Yang, He sees all this happen to Yin. He's just heartbroken, devastated.
Understandably.
He realizes this chaos, this trouble from Abraxas is what consumed her. So in his grief, he steps into a new role.
What's that?
He starts watching over these 12 new children, guiding them gently, trying to protect the garden, even though the story says he knew some losses were simply unavoidable.
So he becomes a guardian, a parental figure despite his own pain.
Exactly. And it's interesting, he finds a new kind of purpose, maybe even joy, in helping the garden keep growing.
Resilience. Life finds a way.
Yeah, the story emphasizes that. It says, for every soul that left the garden, 12 more would appear. Constant renewal.
So the garden continues to thrive, even with the sadness.
It does. But there's another weird detail. Amidst all this new life, these strange statues gods who turned into stone continued popping up all over the garden.
More statues, not just yin.
Apparently not. It suggests this process, this divine solidification or whatever it is, keeps happening. Like the boundary between gods and humans is constantly shifting, being shaped by, well, by everything happening.
Mysterious. The world keeps evolving in unexpected ways.
And while all this is going on in the garden, the story just briefly mentions that things in our world, the human world inside Abraxas, are getting, quote, pretty crazy.
Chaos escalating down there.
Seems like it. And Yang, he becomes the sort of unofficial go-to guy for these new young gods. Try to set a good example, guide them while everything's getting more disordered.
Trying to manage the consequences of that initial fruit eating. A heavy burden.
Definitely. It paints this picture of a universe still very much figuring itself out.
Yeah.
You know, powerful beings trying to steer things, but also dealing with the fallout of their own actions.
A dynamic, messy, ongoing creation.
So let's pull back a bit. What does this all mean? We went from galaxy alone,
To the split into yin and yang.
their big clash, then the peace, the garden, and the Abraxas tree at the center,
Right, then the divine fruit. That incredible experience of connection.
which had that unexpected consequence of the superintelligence sticking with humans, causing trouble.
Leading to Yin's sacrifice, turning to stone, her tears becoming the first gods.
And Yang left to guide these new gods amidst growing chaos in the human world. It's quite a journey for part one.
It really is. And this foundational myth, using these familiar yet recontextualized names like yin, yang, Abraxas, it does more than just tell an origin story.
How so?
It feels like it's inviting us, the readers, to look for the hidden stories. The grandfather in the book even leaves us with this final puzzle piece.
Ah, the statues.
Exactly. The Yinkin statues, he calls them. He says they weren't like yin and yang. They came from something totally new, an unprecedented event involving mankind, yin, and Abraxas.
Something even Yang didn't fully get.
Right. But the grandpa says each statue had a story of its own, waiting for someone brave enough to find and tell it.
So it's encouraging you to dig deeper, think critically, be that brave person.
Precisely. Active participation in finding the meaning.
Speaking of active participation, it's really interesting how this book uses technology too. You mentioned it's a children's book series. Well, inside the book, there's actually a QR code.
Oh, really? What does it do?
It takes you to the author's website. And there, you can download an audio version of the story read by someone, or even watch a fully animated video, word-for-word animation of the story.
Wow, okay. That's pretty cool, integrating digital right into the physical book.
Yeah. What do you think that says about, like, this next wave of creators, how they're thinking about storytelling for kids now?
That's a great point. It really shows how traditional stories are being, remixed for a digital native generation. It suggests these creators get that engagement isn't just words on paper anymore, offering animation, audio. It makes the story accessible in different ways, right? For different learning styles.
Totally.
And it builds this multisensory connection to these, let's face it, pretty deep themes. It's a smart way to show how tech can actually enhance the magic of storytelling, not replace it.
Enhance, not replace. I like that. A really modern approach to ancient ideas.
Definitely.
Well, as we said, this was just part one of the story, and just the first of our deep dives into this whole Mythological Tales series.
Lots more to unpack, I bet.
Oh, absolutely. We're really excited to keep exploring these rich, imaginative themes in future sessions. And hopefully you listening can reflect a bit too on how these ancient concepts, these powerful names, these ideas about creation and sacrifice, how they're being reshaped for a new generation right now.
Yeah, watching that evolution is fascinating in itself.